These are notes for lesson 6-1, part 2, composition of functions. A composition is read f of g of x. It can be written in two different ways, with a little o standing for of, or as a function within a function. So on the left we have f of g of x with the little of symbol. And on the right, we have g of x inside of the f function. So still f of g of x. So we're going to start with problem number 1. I am giving you two functions, one called f and one called g. F of x is x plus 2. G of x is 2x. Let's start simple with something that we learned a couple of chapters ago that was reviewed from Algebra 1, g of 2. So g of 2 just means take 2, plug it into the g function for the x value. So you end up with 2 times our 2 value, and 2 times 2 is 4. So you're doing that same basic step with a more complicated function when you're doing compositions. So let's find g of f of x. As we wrote down at the very, very beginning, g of f of x means the same thing as g of f of x written in this manner. If you look at your equations, we know what f of x equals. F of x is x plus 2. So what we're really looking for is g of x plus 2. That is something that we have done in the past. G of x plus 2 means take the x plus 2 and plug it into the g function, just like we did for part A. So we are finding 2 times x plus 2. When you study, you get 2x plus 4. So let's use the same equations and try it again. Once again, we'll start simple, f of 3. So for f of 3, you take 3 and you plug it into the f equation for the x value. And 3 plus 2 is 5. So let's find f of g of x. This can be written as f of g of x with the g of x inside the parentheses. And we should know that g of x is 2x. It was the equation that we wrote down. So what we're really looking for is f of 2x. And just like we did for example C, we're going to take the 2x and plug it into the equation. So you're going to get 2x plus 2. That cannot be simplified. So you're done. Letter E, f of x. Again, I want to rewrite it. We know what f of x is. It is x plus 2. So what we're really looking for is f of x plus 2. So you go back to your equation, and x plus 2 is going to be substituted back into the f equation. So it's x plus 2 plus 2, which simplifies into x plus 4. Let's try again with some new equations. This time, f of x is going to equal x minus 1, and g of x is going to equal x plus 7. So, simple. F of 4 tells you take 4, plug it into x, and you get 4 minus 1, which is 3. Now let's find f of g of x. I like writing it using all parentheses. So we know what g of x equals. G of x is x plus 7. So what we're really doing is x plus 7 minus 1, which becomes x plus 6. Let's try one more set of equations. F of x is going to equal 3x squared. G of x is going to equal 2x. So let's find f of g of x. We will also be finding g of f of x. So for f of g of x, this is f of g of x, written in the other manner. We know what g of x is. G of x is 2x. So what we are really looking for is f of 2x. So take the 2x, substitute it into the f equation. This gives us 3 times the quantity 2x squared. Using the order of operations, you get 3 times the quantity 4x squared, which becomes 12x squared. Now let's find g of f of x. So again, I'm going to rewrite it. We know what f of x is. F of x is 3x squared. So what we're really looking for is g of 3x squared. So we're going to take our 3x squared and substitute it into the g equation. So that gives us 2 times 3x squared, which is just 6x squared. The homework was on page 390, doing numbers 27 through 29, 35, 47, 49, 55, and 60.